Make more with yours.
Breaking right now, we are continuing to get unbelievable images and video of the damage in the south, where we have seen several destructive large tornadoes tear through parts of the Little Rock metro area, where there are several dozen folks who have been hospitalized because of tornado injuries. We've also had reports of a fatality in Wynne, Arkansas. I want to show you some of the damage. I want to bring in our storm tracker, Charles Peak. He is there on the scene. You were one of the first to arrive. The sun is out, Charles. What are we looking at? Widespread catastrophic damage from our vantage point.
Yeah, Chris, the tornado just ripped through the center part of the town here, and as you just reported, it's one fatality that we know of. Multiple law enforcement telling me multiple people were taken by ambulance to the hospital. They are still in the process of evaluating for search and rescue. There's still some uncertainty on whether those ladies, she had 4 children too, were taken to the hospital. Unsure about the other two, and so we were digging through rubble of one business here earlier because the gentleman's car was here. This was the store for that, and the concern was that he was still under the rubble, and we were trying to see if we could find him, but then we found out that he was taken by ambulance already to the hospital. So those are the kind of things you run into in that situation. Information's a little sketchy at first, and so you're trying to figure out information, but you don't want to wait till you get it all right to be looking to see if somebody's under the rubble.
Charles, I know you're just on the scene. We want to get to the warnings really quickly. Do you happen to know if the hospital is there in town, or if they're being transported to a different hospital, or if even they even have a hospital there in Wynne?
Chris, I do not know the answer to that, but I'll find out for later for us.
All right, we appreciate it. Okay, we'll check back in with Charles as he's still getting his bearings straight here on what happened in Wynne. That same tornado that went through Wynne, Arkansas, well, it tore through Covington, Tennessee. We got a photo in of that tornado. This is one of the first images I've seen. I've only seen one other of the actual tornado, so it tells me a lot that a lot of people haven't actually seen the tornado. It's likely rain wrapped, so you're not going to get visual truth, but this thing is a beast, and this has caused some significant damage in Covington, Tennessee. You can clearly see it from this backyard photo of this home where they were taking shelter, and you can see the tornado there squarely in the center, tearing through the south side of Covington. And that same tornado is still on the ground right now, just north of Jackson, Tennessee. The Union University tornado back in 2008, that was an EF4. That area is so close to where this actual tornado is now actively going. And then we've got this new supercell that's moving in the general vicinity of Memphis that is likely producing a tornado as well. I want to continue with the one that is still most concerning. It does appear to be weakening, so that's at least some encouragement. It is no way, shape, or form off the ground. You need to be in your shelter here in Humboldt, also on the north side of Jackson, not far from Union University. Right? We're talking just a few miles from where an EF4 tornado tore through about 13 or 14 years ago. Alamo, likely, so this is jogging slightly south. That concerns me because in Jackson, you've got about 100,000 folks in the greater Jackson, Tennessee metro area, and this is likely moving between Jackson and Humboldt in a very heavily populated area. We've had that debris ball. It looks a little bit messier now, and it's something we're continuing to follow. Really quickly, before we get to Jackie, I want to get to this cell. Look at that donut hole right there. You got a hail core, you got an inflow. This is a strengthening supercell, guys, for Lee, Phillips, and Tunica County, Mississippi. So northern Mississippi, you're now in the warning. This has that look, right? It has the hook right there. And then now, just recently, that threat has been lifted to considerable. So this is going to be our next cell we're watching. Look at the rotation, and this concerns me because it's moving towards Marvell and Rondo over the next few minutes. And really quickly, if you could time this out, JD, to Memphis, because we're talking less than an hour away. This has a problem as getting into the Memphis metro area over the next hour. Considerable threat. Take this seriously. Memphis, we're looking at arrival here. South Haven, suburb there, south of Memphis, 7:48 p.m. Central Time. A lot of tornadoes, not just there in the south, Jackie, but a lot of monstrous tornadoes further north.
Very concerned about central Illinois. We've got reports of damage now just north of Springfield, and it's all associated with this line of storms that has embedded confirmed rotation within it. So notice the observed and considerable threat associated with this north of Springfield, including areas near Mount Pulaski right now. That's until 7 o'clock tonight. And I know there are a lot of boxes here. We're just not going to pay much attention to the boxes. What we want to pay attention to is the area of rotation, which is right in there. So this is north of Mechanicsburg. This is south of Mount Pulaski. We've got very strong winds associated with this line of storms. That's the bright reflectivity of that blue that you see over here. But that's the area of the tornado, and that's going to be heading towards Highway 51. This is south of Lincoln, and that tornado has a history of producing damage. Now, this whole line of storms, notice the multiple boxes in effect here as well. We've got lots of areas of rotation within there, but we do have observed and confirmed tornado just east of Geneseo here. This is for Bureau, Henry, and Whiteside County in western Illinois.